What if I told you that one of the largest empires the world has ever seen began with a single tribe in the mountains of ancient Iran? That it once stretched from the Indus Valley in the east to the shores of the Mediterranean in the west? And that it laid the foundation for modern governance, religious tolerance, and global trade over 2,500 years ago? Welcome to the entire history of the Persian Empire. From its thunderous rise under Cyrus the Great to the final days of the proud Sassanids, this is the epic story of kings, conquests, revolutions, and resilience. Grab a cup of chai. You're about to travel through centuries of power, glory, and legacy. Our story begins in the 6th century BCE. The region we now call Iran was a mosaic of kingdoms: Elamites, Medes, and Persians. The Persians were just one of many Indo-European tribes, but one man would change everything. Cyrus II, better known as Cyrus the Great, emerged from the Achaemenid clan. In 550 BCE, he overthrew his Median overlords and united the Persian tribes. But Cyrus didn't stop there. He marched west, conquering Lydia in modern-day Turkey, then swept down into Babylon. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When Cyrus captured Babylon in 539 BCE, he didn't loot the city. Instead, he freed the Jews from captivity and allowed them to return to Jerusalem. This act of religious tolerance would echo for centuries. Cyrus wasn't just a conqueror, he was a builder. He founded Persepolis, set up a system of provinces called satrapies, and created the first charter of human rights. Yes, before the Magna Carta or the UN Declaration. He died in battle in 530 BCE, but his legacy would live on. Enter Darius the Great, perhaps the greatest administrator of the ancient world. He expanded the empire to its greatest extent, from Egypt to the Indus River. That's 5.5 million square kilometers, larger than the Roman Empire at its peak. Darius built the Royal Road, allowing messengers to travel over 1,600 miles in just days. Think of it as the FedEx of the ancient world. Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat. Yeah, that motto? It originated from Persian couriers. He also introduced standardized currency, the daric, and a centralized tax system. Persia was becoming not just an empire, but an organized civilization. But Persia's ambitions would run into a stubborn little set of city-states across the Aegean Sea. The Persian-Greek Wars are legendary. Darius launched the first invasion, only to be repelled at Marathon in 490 BCE. His son, Xerxes I, took over and launched a second invasion in 480 BCE. This gave us the famous last stand of the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae. But despite early wins, the Persians were defeated at Salamis, and later Plataea. The Greeks had held. These defeats didn't end the Persian Empire, but they bruised its ego and prestige. Still, Persia remained powerful, thriving on art, astronomy, philosophy, and trade. But cracks were forming. In 334 BCE, a 20-year-old Macedonian king named Alexander crossed into Asia Minor. His target, Persia. The Persian king at the time, Darius III, struggled to unite a fracturing empire. Alexander moved swiftly, defeating Persian forces at Issus, then Gaugamela. By 330 BCE, he had captured Persepolis, the jewel of Persia. Some say he wept as he watched it burn. And just like that, the mighty Achaemenid Empire fell. But Persia wouldn't stay silent forever. Out of the ashes came the Parthian Empire, horse archers, decentralized rule, and a thorn in the side of Rome. They ruled for almost 500 years, resisting conquest and maintaining Persian identity. Then, in 224 CE, a new dynasty emerged, the Sassanids. The Sassanids saw themselves as heirs of the Achaemenids. They centralized power, revived Zoroastrianism, and engaged in brutal but legendary wars with Rome and later Byzantium. The Sassanids built cities, promoted science and medicine, and ushered in what many call Persia's Second Golden Age. But in the 7th century, a new force arose in Arabia. The Islamic conquests of the 600s swept through the region with incredible speed. After the decisive Battle of Al-Qadisiyah in 636 CE, the Sassanids began to collapse. By 651 CE, the last Sassanid emperor, Yazdegerd III, was dead. The Persian Empire, after over 1,000 years of evolution, was no more, but its spirit lived on. Persian culture would deeply influence the Islamic world. Persian poets, scientists, and philosophers like Rumi, Avicenna, and Ferdowsi carried the torch. The Persian Empire was more than just kings and battles. It was a civilization of roads, laws, tolerance, and ideas. A bridge between East and West. A legacy that shaped not only Iran, but the world. From Cyrus the Great to the last Sassanid king, the story of Persia is one of resilience, rebirth, and enduring influence. So the next time you see a courier van, an empire-building strategy game, or read about human rights, remember, it might just have Persian roots. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe.